Welcome back to the My Pro Golfer channel. Jeremy Franks coming to you here from the range at Summerfield Crossings Golf Club. And today we're teaching you how to swing the golf club with a 9-iron off a mat. All right, if you've been following along in our series, we just finished up the pitching wedge, and I want to take you through a little bit, well, we got some time early in this series, of the major differences between the 9-iron and the pitching wedge, so that you can take this information and look at your set of clubs and see if there's any determining factor that you can get out of the way early in addressing why certain clubs will go the same distance. So number one, with a pitching wedge and a 9-iron, if you look at the length of club, got about a ½ inch longer in my 9-iron than in my pitching wedge. Also, from a lie standpoint, and you may want to get your lies and lofts checked if you've never done that before, it's a critical piece that the tour players do each and every week to make sure that their clubs are adjusted exactly the way they want them for that particular scenario. But in a perfect world, my pitching wedge and my 9-iron should have 3 degrees of loft difference. The 9-iron should be decreased in loft by 3 degrees, and that gives me somewhere between 12 and 15 yards distance difference between the two clubs. And those knowledge that you have in your set are pivotal for knowing for sure and for certain that you're going to hit the club different distances based on the length and the loft and the lie. Hey, thanks for watching today's episode. Here at My Pro Golfer, you know we like to keep things simple. And today, I've got a special gift for you to help you never miss a 5-foot putt again. Click the link below and download today. All right, let's get into swinging the 9-iron for you. And we put ourselves out on a mat today at Summerfield here. We're redoing the entire driving range. It's going to be one of the best places to hit golf balls and practice anywhere in the area of Tampa, Florida. So keep that in mind if you're in the area and you want to practice. Summerfield's got a great opportunity for you to get going on your golf game. They got a great program called the PDP program, which just gives you unlimited golf balls, unlimited practice time. It's a really, really good deal for those of you really looking to get better at golf this coming year. So let's jump into the 9-iron. All right, we're going to make sure that we've got that same system going where the body is relaxed and sitting settled in that athletic stance. So if I was playing you in a sport, I could cover you. I could go left and right. We got to make sure that we're prepared to create a significant athletic movement to a ball that's standing still. It's one of the most complex movements that you'll do in your life, but the actual movement's quite simple. So let's talk about that a little bit. Get yourself set in your body positions. And then remember what we're talking about in this series. We're just trying to let the club do more work. You're trying to feel the sensation of the weight rotate around your core, almost like you're shutting a door. So you're opening and shutting the door and you're just swinging that club halfway back, halfway through. Get a good 10, 11 swings of that before you ever try to hit the golf ball. So let's talk real quick about some positives and negatives to hitting off a mat. The positive is it's a square or rectangle, and you can get yourself lined up really well to the mat, making sure that even without alignment rods that you're hitting at your target. It just really clarifies where you're headed. So the negative of the mat is that a lot of times you actually hit it fat or thin, and because the ball is almost sitting up perfect and the strike, you can't quite tell whether it's been fat or thin, the ball will come off pretty good and kind of lie to you a little bit in the impact zone. So keep that in mind. Don't take it, when you walk around the golf course, you're like, man, I just don't hit it as good as I do off a mat. That's not an accident. The mat actually lies to you. It helps you get the ball up in the air because the strike is not as significant in here. And in the olive tree method, step 3 impact is something that I want to make sure everybody understands and knows, and that the mat will actually lie to you. You're hitting it better than you think, okay? So with that being said, let's just work on the system that we're trying to get in place for you and swinging this 9-iron. So we're going to go back here halfway, keeping that club face outside of our hands, and we're going to continue through that same motion, closing that door, hitting this little half shot just to get you into that rhythm. So get your body set in that position, feel that club go back to the hip, and through to the hip, out a lot of slide and movement, and it should look something like this. That's very solid. You can see how my body and my arms matched up together. Hit a very square, very solid shot directly at the target. All right, so hopefully you've hit a few of those half shots, and it's not so important to have it too precise, but just to get the feel of that club face out in front of you. Once you've done that, then you can get into that moment of truth and just try to extend the swing a little bit further. Let that club come up, but not changing what the body does. We never want our club swing to impart the movement of that would be in a normal athlete of loading and getting too far forward. So when you turn that backswing here and you get your body to quit right there with your 9-iron, just let it come up a little bit. We don't want to throw the body out of sequence. That's where a lot of problems come when you feel like you got to go longer than you should. We're going to try to just get a little further than that half swing. So as you go back, we're going to stop right there in your half swing that you just completed. Hopefully did 10 or 12 of those. And then from there, you're just turning a little bit more of that shoulder and letting the hands naturally hinge when swinging with that 9-iron. So let's just see if we can do it. Got the alignment rods down. We're in a good spot. We're gonna make that same motion we just made, just a little bit longer. Oh, very solid. Good release of the body. We're finishing fully on our left side. One of the pivotal things you've got to do to hit a solid golf shot.
Hey, just want to remind you to not forget on getting your free gift below on how to never miss a 5-foot putt.
So if you're taking these drills serious, just like you're following the process of what we've been doing and the how to swing the golf club and going through the bag from A to Z, one of the things you'll notice on a mat is you can't actually see a lot of the connection point on where that ball is striking. So just some like electrical tape or something like that that you could put on the face, just kind of gear in what is actually happening, how the connection point's happening if you have to play mats. And mats, like I said, are not ideal for hitting shots, but they're great at just focusing on the movement patterns of the golf swing. So if all you have is a mat, don't be discouraged by that. Work really hard on the movement patterns, not so worried about the impact position in a mat because it can cheat you, but just keep working on the process of making the body move and swing the club in that motion that allows the ball to sweep off the mat and strike that ball solid. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this episode of How to Swing the Golf Club. The 9-iron's a pivotal piece. Again, if you're just beginning golf, just get yourself a pitching wedge, a 7-iron, some sort of hybrid or lofted fairway wood, driver and putter, and that's all you need to enjoy the game. But if you want to really get precise, make sure that you, just to recap, make sure that you check your lies and lofts with your local club or your local golf shop repair area. Make sure that the lengths, the lie and the loft are what you think they are, and make sure that there's at least 3 degrees between each club, or that idea that you hit the club and the ball the same distance with each club could actually be the problem with the club. We'll see you next Thursday at 6 a.m.